friends, greetings of the day. We're glad to have you all here today. And as love begets love, knowledge begets knowledge. The more you share, the more you learn, right? So today, just after 1.5 months of our opening, we're glad that we are conducting this very first event of corporate finance and management just solely for our community members to come together, learn and share. Okay? So I, myself, Nisha, on behalf of Mascots, welcome today's guest of honor, Miss Gia Punjabi. She's a financial advisor and consultant at CFGI, San Francisco. So Gia, can you help us with your role and responsibility at your office?
Hi guys, thanks for coming. So you guys can hear me blab about some stuff. Hopefully you learn something you like, and if not, just ask me questions and maybe I can try and help you guys. As Nisha mentioned, I work in San Francisco, Corporate Finance Group International. I'm a financial consultant, and my background's in CA and I'm a level 2 CFA candidate at this stage. And prior to my current job, I was with KPMG. My current job, I am responsible for private equity, venture capital funds that they look at. When they want to acquire a company or they want to invest in a company, they come to me and my team, and we do very dedicated financial due diligence. उनको बताने के लिए कि is this worth it? इतने में बात करना चाहिए कि नहीं, या फिर negotiation points पे थोड़ा कम है. So that's kind of what we really do. And prior to that with KPMG, I was doing kind of similar stuff, but more on the audit side. So I was looking at companies and seeing if their regulation के हिसाब से बराबर कर रहे हैं कि नहीं कर रहे हैं, इनकी funding जागरूक होनी चाहिए कि नहीं, पुल करनी चाहिए कि नहीं, and things like that. With mostly fintech and banking companies.
Okay, that's great. Gia, we've been hearing a lot, that people are turning their ideas into reality just by, savings there, putting their funds into savings and bootstrapping. We really confused what is this all about. Can you help us with what is bootstrapping and VC funding? We've been, reading a lot in the newspapers and, Twitter and Facebook. What is this all about?
Definitely. Well, like 4 years ago, maybe 5 years ago, if you asked me what bootstrapping was, I would have been like something to do with shoes, but no, not quite. Essentially, let's talk about the difference between the two. Kind of define them from scratch. Bootstrapping just means that you have some funds of your own, one way or the other you acquire them, and you have an idea and you want to make it into reality, and you have the funds are enough that you can at least get it started, or get a product together, or things like that. So you're just using your own funds or debt maybe a little bit, and things like that. Now, that's usually used if it's like a smaller type of amount that you have, or जो product बनाना है उसका prototype थोड़े amount में बन जाएगा. But what if it's a big idea? अगर कल नया Facebook बनाना है या एक नया Google search engine बनाना है, that kind of thing will require quite a bit of money, quite a bit of capital. VC, venture capital, comes through that. So VC funding comes through for mostly emerging or high growth companies. उनका एक mean होता है कि it has to be an idea that is scalable, that there's a chance to make it bomb, like something, but it needs a huge injection of capital today. And that's kind of what VCs are for. And one other difference about them, I mean, ये तो कोई भी कर सकता है, कोई भी, some big guy with lots of money can become a VC. Not all. They have to be knowledgeable. They have to be intellectual. And usually VCs are quite concentrated. जैसे medtech का VC, so it'll be medical technology वाला VC, या versus regulation technology का, या fintech का, financial technology का. तो उसके VCs different होते हैं because they have that knowledge and they will usually only invest in that niche market.
Okay. Now, suppose if we want to start our own business, right? So, what is the time that we decide that we should go for bootstrapping or we should go for VC funding? What is the wise decision that we should take? To always fall into that.
I wish I knew that. That's the hardest question you can ask.
Okay.
कौन सा use करे, कौन सा नहीं करे? Because you can't. There's no one size fits all. It depends on the type of business, the nature of it. कि bootstrapping करे या VC करे. Let me give you a couple of examples. Maybe you can help me out with a few that are local as well.
Okay.
So, for instance, अगर आपका एक ऐप बनानी है और ऐप के लिए खाली you just create करना है और उसका थोड़ा prototype बना के use करवाना है. Now that's a little small, right? तो वो manageable है. इसके लिए इतनी पैसे ज़रूरत नहीं, 2 engineers हो जाएगा और 1 महीने के लिए कुछ ना कुछ तो बन जाएगा, right? But so for that, maybe bootstrapping is a better idea. अगर VC के side पे जाओगे तो it's मगरमच्छ. Why would you want to get that much money for something like that? Versus if you have एक idea आया है समझो एक technique नहीं निकली है if you're in the medical field, उसमें you can blood test करा के फटाफट रिजल्ट आ सकते हैं. Instead of waiting a day, आपको immediately रिजल्ट मिलेंगे. ऐसी टेक्नोलॉजी बनाने के लिए पैसे लगते हैं, रेगुलेशन के लिए, पेपर वर्क के लिए काफ़ी पैसे लगते हैं, all of those kind of things. Now for that and you need people that know what they're doing. सब एरियाज में, रेगुलेशन साइड पे, मेड के साइड पे, टेक के साइड पे. So you're gonna need a bigger team. Bigger team के लिए पैसा लगता है. So for that, it would make more sense that you go to a VC. So that's kind of like, so for instance, आपको मैं एक example देती हूँ. आप लोगों ने Theranos सुना है? Maybe some people may have heard or may not. It's a company that did that exactly. एक 19-year-old लड़की स्टैनफोर्ड यूनिवर्सिटी से बायोटेक पढ़ रही थी. उसको ये आइडिया आया ब्लड टेस्टिंग का, इतने से खून में ब्लड टेस्टिंग हो जाएगा इंस्टेड ऑफ दिस व्हील दैट यू नीड. तो फॉर दैट उसने VC फंडिंग किया एंड ऑल दैट. नाउ इट्स अनदर स्टोरी, इट डिडंट रियली गो थ्रू, बट दैट्स द ट्रूथ. द यूएस में जो बज़वर्ड्स तो बहुत है कि VC इसमें सबको फंडिंग मिलती है, बट द रियलिटी, द ब्लैक ट्रूथ, as per Harvard Business Review as of a few months ago, जितने लोग जाते हैं उसमें से 1% स्टार्टअप्स को एक्चुअली VC फंडिंग. Is it? That's true. 1%. 1% of all startups that try to pursue for VC funding will get it. Now that's not to say, I mean estimates vary, but that's not to say कि सभी में से सिर्फ एक ही जन को मिलेगा. कुछ को थोड़ा मिल जाता है, कुछ को कुछ और opportunities आ जाती है, because the path itself will pave some opportunities for you. But yeah, so that's kind of the bootstrapping versus VC type.
Okay, what if we decide that our business is scalable and we can approach a VC? So if we presume that we want a funding, how are we supposed to, get contact, or how are we supposed to go through that entire process?
So firstly, congratulations, you've done half the job of actually going मुझे करना ही है. So that itself is quite a bit of a task, and if you proved it to yourself, that's half the job done. Now you have to prove it to the other. So now in terms of approaching के लिए काफी सारे fundas होते हैं, right? Let's talk about a couple that I can relate to. One of them, networking skills. Let's talk about a little bit about that. Now networking skills और networking जो word है उसमें work लिखा हुआ है, right? So networking is work. Networking only works when you treat it like a job or treat it like a responsibility, or ये मेरे को खाली ये नेटवर्किंग इवेंट में जाके थोड़ा खाना खाना है, 2 से बात करना है, वापस आना है, दैट्स और फेस दिखाना है. यू डू दैट, यू आर नॉट गोना गेट जैक शिट. द वे इट वर्क्स इज इफ यू गो, नहीं मुझे यहाँ जाना है, थोड़ा इट्स लाइक ट्रीटेड लाइक अ जॉब इंटरव्यू. उससे पहले थोड़ा रिसर्च करोगे, राइट? किसी कहाँ जा रहा है, मेरे मोर ट्रीटेड लाइक अ प्रेजेंटेशन. आपको जाके किसी को प्रेजेंटेशन देना है, आप थोड़ा टॉपिक के बारे में रिसर्च तो करोगे ना, कौन आने वाला है वो भी करोगे ना, कि कौन आने वाला है, कैसे लोग होंगे. सो सिमिलरली अगर कोई नेटवर्किंग इवेंट पकड़ा है, ओके ये मुझे करना है, ओके फाइंड आउट हूज देयर, फाइंड आउट व्हाट टाइप ऑफ पीपल इज देयर. इफ इट्स VCs, एक VC सबका इट्स नॉट वन साइज फिट ऑल, सब डिफरेंट होते हैं. कुछ की सिक्वायर कैपिटल इज जायंट, उनका मल्टी इंटरनेशनल एंड लाइक दे हैव सो मेनी डिफरेंट आर्म्स, एंड उनने किनको फंडिंग किया है, थोड़े बज़वर्ड्स हम समझ में आता है, न्यूज़ में उनने लास्ट किसको कितना दिया है, वो मे बी इवन ट्रेंड कर सकते हो कि जनवरी में मोस्ट फंडिंग करते हैं वर्सेस और मे बी मई और जून में करते हैं, थिंग्स लाइक दैट. फाइंड अ बिट अबाउट दैट. अगर सिक्योर आपको वहाँ कोई है, वह नहीं है तो फिर डोंट डू रिसर्च अबाउट सिक्योर, डू अबाउट अदर पीपल दैट आर देयर. और फिर वहाँ पर जाओगे तो फिर थोड़ा 2-3 क्वेश्चंस दिमाग में लाओ, सो यू प्रेजेंट द बेस्ट ऑफ योरसेल्फ और अपना टाइम वेस्ट नहीं हो रहा है, कुछ इन्वेस्ट ही हो रहा है. So that's one thing. You have to do that kind of research to really put your face forward. Or another black truth I'll tell you is that अगर आप 10 इवेंट्स पे गए ना और समझो 20 जन से बात किया, उसके बाद 2-3 ईमेल्स मारे, उसमें से एक या 2 ने ईमेल करना है आपको वापस, या एक से ही शायद कुछ ना कुछ होगा, पर एक ही चाहिए और उसके लिए करना काफ़ी पड़ता है. तो रिजेक्शन का अपने आप में you just have to keep it. It's like going on dates. इतने सारे dates में जाना ही पड़ता है ताकि एक जन तो मिले. So it's similar to that.
Okay. So tell me, what do they look for companies or as a team when they really want to business, what is that one thing that they are looking for?
It's actually two things.
Okay,
Okay, so let me backtrack a little and talk a little more about VC hote kaun hai, venture capitalists, venture capital investors hote kaun hai. They are not just looking for a nice idea and some early sales. They are looking for, first and foremost, a really good team. A VC I met once had said it's all about team, and then the idea, and then the technology behind it. And I don't remember his name. Maybe sometime he'll come. But it's something I've heard all the time. Team is the backbone. Especially अगर emerging छोटी company है और अभी तक सिर्फ idea और थोड़ा बहुत ये सब किया हुआ है, तो the main जो जान है वो the person, right? I think his name is Ron Conway. He had said that when you meet somebody, अगर networking event पे हो या lift में हो, elevator pitch हो या जो भी हो, he is looking to see is this person a leader, and then if this person is a leader, then has he, the founder being or the co-founder, have they found people around them that is also a leader that reflects them? Because it's not just the one person. The founder is not just the entire company. The VCs will look for is there similarity, is there consistency? कि एक नहीं तो फिर दूसरा ऊपर कर देगा, कुछ ना कुछ तो काम करने वाले हैं. So that's what they're kind of looking for. At the end of the day वो तुम्हें पैसा दे रहे हैं, तो उनको वो जानना पड़ेगा ना कि किसको दे रहे हैं, क्या चांस है मेरे को पैसा वापस आने का, रिटर्न क्या मिलेगा, those kind of things. So that's one thing. They're looking for a really bomb team. They're looking for someone with performance, with like drive, with and also flexibility to pivot. अगर एक आइडिया नहीं काम आया तो क्या उसके पास दिमाग है कि खुद ही दूसरा आइडिया सोचेगा before coming up में नहीं चल रहा है मेरा, मैं क्या करूँ? So that kind of thing. That's one. The other thing they're looking for is metrics, numbers, planning की हुई है. अभी आप बोलोगे मुझे 10 मिलियन चाहिए, हो जाएगा इसमें का. What are you going to do with that? प्लान बनाया है, रनवे दिया है अपने आप को 24 months का रनवे कि इस तरीके से we're going to use the 10 million, या बिल्डिंग किया है, अगर कुछ गलत हुआ तो when shit hits the fan, have you got an idea for like how you're going to do what, when? क्या मैंने सुना है यहाँ पर बहुत टाइम लगता है पेपर वर्क करने का. ऑफिसेस में पेपर डालो 48 दिन भी कम पड़ते हैं कंपनी रजिस्ट्रेशन करने के लिए या FDA अप्रूवल्स के लिए और दैट. तो क्या इस बंदे ने वो सोच समझ के माइलस्टोन्स बनाए हैं कि डिलेज बिल्ड इन है, तो वो बेसिकली दे लुकिंग फॉर थ्रू द नंबर्स यू कैन डिस्प्ले योर कमिटमेंट टू दिस आइडिया. तो दे लुकिंग फॉर दैट. दे नीड टू सी कि सेल्स का कुछ फनल बना है, कुछ प्रोजेक्शन में कुछ सोच किया हुआ है, and all those kind of things. So the two things they're looking for is one, a really good high performing team and led by somebody that makes sense, and two, market numbers. Have you got your numbers right? Have you got numbers in the first place? Have you thought about how you're going to change the numbers if need be?
Okay, like apart from the team and the numbers, like suppose if we get that lucky 1% to get VC funded, what is that thing that they feel interested in that company to do not pull their funding out of the business?
That's a great question. So मैंने स्टार्ट में बोला था VC और investors और rich people का difference ये है कि they are intellectual people. They have a pool of knowledge about particular areas and particular things like medical technology or learning apps and things like that, or whatever it may be. आपने अगर वो जो उनकी knowledge base है उस पर टैप किया कि नहीं, आपको पैसा मिल गया, टाटा बाय बाय कर दिया, या फिर एक्चुअली यू कीप देम अपडेटेड, उनको बताना कि ये हम लोग ये करने वाले हैं और एक्चुअली ये करना है, तो आपका इसमें कुछ लिंकअप है, या डू यू हैव एनी रिसोर्सेज दैट VC itself will have 20 other companies they would have invested in. Are you tapping into that? Have you met those 20 other companies? That's what they're looking for. They're looking for the
Shark Tank.
are you doing what you need to do to get things done?
That's Shark Tank, right?
Like
Shark Tank.
Shark Tank, yeah. So I don't know if you guys have seen Shark Tank. I was addicted to it for a little while. Okay, it's not that bad. I'll tell you that. So it's not that bad. But it is cutthroat, but it's not hard. The sad part is जो 99% है उसमें से 50% तो वैसे भी रेस कम करो, वो तो ऐसे ही कुछ नहीं समझते, हाँ मुझे पैसा चाहिए ऐसा करके आते हैं, तो फिर of course they will be discounted. You're really competing with the people that know their game and they have done their research. So all you need to do is do a little bit more than them.
Okay. Gia, I'm still confused. Like, suppose if I get, VC funded and the VC has the full power and control over my business, what about my vision and my perspective towards my business?
It's a really good question. Okay, so now again, I want to go back to the numbers that I said earlier. If you have presented a brand of yourself where you are the soul of the company, that you have firstly you have a clear direction and mission. You may have it as a founder. I think most founders do, but it's not just about having it. It's about articulating it. It's about showing it. Like don't tell me what to do or don't tell me what you want to do. Show me, prove it to me that this is what you want. That's kind of what their thinking is. तो अगर आपने इस तरीके से prove किया with your branding, with your reputation, जो आपने build किया, वो one है. दूसरा आपने metrics दिखाया है कि इस वजह से फॉर इंस्टेंस मेरे को इस 10 मिलियन में से 1 मिलियन मार्केटिंग में डालना है. ओके, मार्केटिंग में कैसे डालना है? 1 मिलियन डालना है, ऐसे नहीं डालना. ओके, मैंने डेमोग्राफिक ये है, इस डेमोग्राफिक में इतना जाएगा, तो आई हैव टू स्पेंड दिस मच और इस तरीके से, वरना मुझे नहीं मिलेगा. इफ यू डू दोस काइंड ऑफ थिंग्स, तो उसमें उनका फेथ आता है कि दिस पर्सन नोज व्हाट दे आर डूइंग. और द सेकंड थिंग हैपेंस इज दैट आप खुद ही इस तरीके से अपनी खुद की कंपनी को वैल्यूएशन दे सकते हो. तो आपको उनकी वैल्यूएशन भी सुननी नहीं पड़ेगी. आप खुद ही अगर प्रूव कर सकते हो कि नहीं, मेरी कंपनी है 10 मिलियन की या 10 मिलियन की होने की कैपेसिटी है उसको. उसके बाद अगर समझो आपने वीसी फंडिंग एक्सचेंज में 10% लिया, वीसी बोलेगा ठीक है मैं देखो इंजेक्शन दूंगा कैपिटल का, पर मैं 10% स्टेक लूंगा. यू कैन प्रूव दैट 10% में आपको 1 मिलियन चाहिए ना, मेरी कंपनी 20 मिलियन की है एक्चुअली मेरे वैल्यूएशन से आसपास, so you should only get 5%. So you can use that to prove and you can do that way to make sure they don't take up too much of your equity. End of the day, shares जितना दोगे उनको उतना उनको right मिलेगा, right? That's one thing. That's one way to do that. Now the other way is that it's not just vanilla. It's not just simple vanilla VC जाओ या bootstrap जाओ. There's also a combination, and there's also debt funding that you can take. So you can get a combination of some VC funding. अगर 10 मिलियन चाहिए तो समझो 5 मिलियन VC से मिल जाएगा और खुद का 1 मिलियन, I've heard this word, जुगाड़ हो जाएगा. And then for the rest of the 5, maybe figure out कि कोई लोन ले सकते हो या debentures या on the basis of मुझे VC funding मिल रहा है तो आप मुझे थोड़े कम में दो. थोड़ा use that as a thing and you create a slightly complicated debt portfolio. And that way you don't have to give up so much control. Okay. अगर आपने Shark Tank देखा है तो आधे टाइम तो they are arguing about कितना % दें.
Yes.
Right? And the way they can actually prove that is मेरे numbers है, आपके पास हो, मेरे पास है, and that's how you can do that. But for that, one other thing that I think we can touch on this a bit more later is one of the common mistakes that founders make is they're too busy dressing up their company. Window dressing कर रहे हैं, मेरी कंपनी ये करती है, मेरा आइडिया ये मस्त है. Screw that. Focus on your actual team. Focus on किस तरीके से revenue बनाओगे और focus on showing कि ये तो बनेगा ही रहा है, इतना दिख ही रहा है. And then show that. एक महीने पहले जाके VC के पास बोलो कि 1 महीने में मेरे दिमाग में ये मार्केट है, ये प्रोडक्ट जाएगा, इतना मैं सेल करूंगा या करूंगी और इतना होगा. And then a month later go back and be like, there you go, this is what I promised, I did it. And you have to continually do that. Otherwise they're obviously gonna pull funding. Or you may not be able to raise again. Or the next round they'll be like, oh, actually काफी अच्छी तरह से बन रहा है, let me figure out a way to get a minimum percentage.
Okay, I've heard that a successful business can sustain only if they get a VC funded. Is that speed related to VC funded?
If that was the case, then there'd be so many companies that wouldn't be surviving today.
Okay.
Because you have to remember, your Facebook, Google, Twitter, these are the exception to the rule. These guys are not the norm. They are not the rule. There's many other companies keeping more profit than they're giving away. And the other thing is, going back to the VCs being quite intellectual, quite concentrated in areas, वो सिर्फ आपकी कंपनी में पैसा नहीं डाल रहे हैं, वो 20 या 25 कंपनी में डाल रहे हैं, उनको सिर्फ एक या दो ही चाहिए जो बड़े to get their return. तो उनको पता है कि 20 में से 15 तो पक्का जाएगा, right? Which means that you don't have to think that अगर ये नहीं मिला मतलब नहीं मिलेगा. So that's one thing. Other thing is again going back to that point of like there's other ways to do it, and you have to employ every opportunity, every resource that is in your pocket. Don't worry about just one, essentially. And another thing is again going back to that. I'm gonna hammer on this point again. Stop window dressing. Don't worry about किस तरीके से दिखता है, कैसा perception आएगा लोगों को. Focus on actually getting the meat ready. Like really having a solid team and a product that is fit to market, or that's undeniable on paper on anything कि ये चल रहा है. Otherwise, you're gonna end up like Paytm, which is getting funded but it's a loss-making product. So at the end of the day, you want funding, you want your thing to go up, but you don't also want to do it for no reason and make no money at the end of it.
Correct. So as you mentioned about Paytm, I want to ask you that how many ways or in which ways the founders can't survive with the funding? What are the common mistakes that they make that in spite of getting the funding, they're not able to survive with the competition in the market?
Right. So that again comes down to if you are too focused on the big picture, कि ये किस तरीके से बनेगा और क्या चल रहा है और मेरा कैसा कंपनी दिख रहा है बाहर. If you're focusing on the big picture, one of the biggest mistakes that founders make is they focus on the big picture. As your job, you have to focus on the small things. You have to focus, and also it's hard to palette कि मेरे को यहाँ से इतना बड़ा बनाना है. You have to focus on the small milestones. Firstly, have milestones. A lot of founders, one of the things that I've seen, or at least in the earlier paperwork that I've seen of things, is that they don't have milestones that are achievable, measurable. Don't just say मुझे इस साल के end में 20 million का revenue चाहिए. Okay, तो क्या नवंबर में करोगे? You're gonna have like, if you say no, 20 million तक पहुँचने के लिए मुझे इस हफ्ते में इतना operating cost होना चाहिए, और उसके बाद ओके ये महीना मतलब ऑपरेटिंग कॉस्ट में जाएगा, थोड़ा घाटे में जाएगा, बट इतना ही घाटा होना चाहिए ताकि अगले महीने में वो जो कॉस्ट जो गए उसका रेवेन्यू आए, तो अगले महीने में डबल रेवेन्यू आना चाहिए. एंड देन शो दैट, और देन एवरी डे डू अ हेल्थ चेकअप, डू अ फाइनेंशियल हेल्थ चेकअप टू गो कि ये हो रहा है. अनदर कॉमन मिस्टेक्स फाउंडर्स डू, एंड आई डोंट वांट टू जनरलाइज, बट फॉर मोस्ट फाउंडर्स देयर कंपनी इज देयर बेबी. मेरा बच्चा है, मुझे इसी तरह से इसको तो कुछ भी करके ऊपर बढ़ाना है बस. They lose sight of the reality of things. They lose sight of the rationality. At what point you have to cut your losses? Because one of the things VCs also want to see, and I mentioned that at the start, is your ability to pivot. कि are you rational enough? Are you sensible enough to go? ठीक है, हमने 10 million दिया है मुझे, अभी 2 साल हो गए, हमने 4 million चला गया, और अभी हमारा launch था 6 months में, और एक दूसरी कंपनी आ गई और खड़ी हो गई, तो that's good. There's no market left, or there may be not enough market left. We can't just come up with the same product in a slightly different branded. So what do you do then? You just go, उनको वापस करना पड़ेगा. You don't do that, right? Or you go, नहीं, करना ही नहीं. Don't do that. You go, alright, I still have 6 million left. Instead of continue to put money in this, let's pivot. Let's keep a core idea. थोड़ा smart, थोड़ा diplomatically किसी को बोल सकते हैं, जो भी जिससे भी फंडिंग मिले. Idea same है, खाली कपड़ा बदल दिया उसका. You can turn it, pivot it. Have a team that is flexible enough to do that. That's the other thing. This discussion needs to be done at the start with your co-founders, with your lead engineers, with your whoever you have. कि अगर हमको ये हुआ तो are you ready? Are you ready to pivot? It may not be a co-working place. It may be a cafe. Are you ready for that? That kind of thing. So that would be one of the other mistakes that founders do, where they don't pre-prepare for the calamities that can happen. And not just big things. छोटी-छोटी चीजें भी problems होते हैं. That's the other thing with founders is that they will focus on this stress about all the okay ये हुआ तो इसके लिए मुझे plan करनी है, इसलिए मुझे plan करनी है. Okay, कल अगर आपका engineer sick हो गया या pregnant हो गया या something like that, what are you gonna do then? You have a plan in mind for that. small things as well that you have to be able to cope with. And if you have your mind set on the big things, you're never gonna see the details. And it's not the VC's job to look at the details, right? They're away from that. They just need to get a nice status update that सब ठीक चल रहा है. Okay.
So are you trying to say that we should start small and finish big?
It's a nice way to put it. Yeah, I would say that. And again, I'm not telling you to not focus on the big picture. You need the big picture to be able to keep on track. Make sure you're still in your mission. But if you don't look at the small picture, who will?
Okay. So basically, I'm still not sure that bootstrap is a good option or VC because I feel either of the way it's like a gambling. But you need to be sure that you should go with a stop loss, right? Wherever you're going.
That would be it. So you really need to detach yourself a little bit from the idea. I mean, keep attached, keep that passion going. Her elevator pitch में you have to make it. At the end of the day, when you leave an elevator pitch, they should feel like यार इसका तो जी लगा हुआ है.
What is that elevator pitch you're talking about?
Okay. So an elevator pitch is अगर मेरे पास एक idea है और you have money and you're say a VC and I want to come to you and get you interested in it. You're not going to sit with me like this और मुझे 1 घंटा नहीं दोगे, आधा घंटा 5 मिनट भी नहीं दोगे.
Okay.
An elevator pitch is about the time it takes you to go from your ground floor to your level, जो भी level है. जितना टाइम लिफ्ट में मिलता है वो एलिवेटर में, उस टाइम में आपको पिच करना अपना आइडिया. एंड मैं यूनिवर्सिटी में थी, वी वुड एक्चुअली हैव टू जब मैंने एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप के कोर्सेज किए थे, वन ऑफ आवर टेस्ट्स वाज आवर प्रोफेसर हु वाज full day in the elevator and every few minutes it would be some students up there, some students on the 10th or 11th floor, and the time it took to go up and down would be him listening to elevator pitches.
Okay.
And if he liked it, then you would be able to build it into something and university would fund you some amount to go through. So actually हमारा हुआ था, which was quite interesting. I really don't know क्यों उन्होंने fund किया, but कुछ तो बना था उसका. Yeah. So you have, that's the other thing. If you are a founder, you have to have multiple elevator pitches in your back pocket. And you need to practice. Maybe not in an elevator, but still practice.
So how would you want to sum up this entire session? Like, what is the best according to you? What would you believe that bootstrapping is the best option or VC is the best option?
I'm going to go back to my diplomatic answer of I don't know. It depends. It depends on the nature of the business and things like that.
People still say, that you cannot survive by taking other people's money. You cannot. That's old school thinking. Is it that still valid and factful? So we want to know a little about Silicon Valley, how the working culture over there works.
Yeah. So, I mean, again, I don't want to generalize because I haven't met everybody in Silicon Valley yet. Maybe someday. But at the end of the day, वहाँ पर bootstrapping होता है. Bootstrapping करना पड़ता है सबको. Unlikely आपको bootstrapping के bigger VC मिलेगा. But the thing is, you should be smart about the way you do bootstrapping. जो पैसा है, you have to really be very economical and very smart about इतना ही इसी तरह से उनको split करना है, इसी तरह से use करना है और सिर्फ prototype खड़ा करना है या पूरा पैसा डाल के ऐसा solid research करना है कि it's undeniable or something along those lines. तो Silicon Valley में what I see is that one of two things happen. One, it's intrapreneurship. That means companies के अंदर जो लोग हैं वो ideas अपने bosses और अपने leads को pitch करते हैं और internal funding मिलती है और internal से they create like a small offshoot. तो वो काफी होता है. So you don't just need people जो job छोड़ के घर पे बैठते हैं और कुछ ना कुछ figure out करते हैं. You get people that do that. Now उसमें risk ये है कि काफी सारा tie-up होता है तो your profit and your shares are going to be quite less, but काफी लोग वो करते हैं as a stepping stone to the next company that they'll create on their own. So that's one thing I see quite a bit of. And that's the people I've usually dealt with in terms of the work I do. The second being that people that have done their networking, they're in the right place at the right time in terms of being at Stanford or Howard, one of these universities, या फिर already एक startup में काम करके ये सब networking करके अपना build करके फिर offshoot करके खुद ही शुरू करते हैं. और again same thing, पहले खुद का तो करना ही पड़ता है. It invest my currency, which is my time and my money. Both of those. Your time is also equally as important, if not more. So that's usually what I see. And the other thing I see is that it's not just एक idea से बन गया. Serial entrepreneurship बहुत है. I myself have tried 3 different ideas so far, and I'm 26. So, and none of them worked. I'm proud to say that, but I learned a ton from all of them. And yeah, so you see people one shot में बनना नहीं होता है. आपको एग्जांपल दे सकती हूँ. फेसबुक से पहले मार्क ज़करबर्ग ने बुक समथिंग बनाया था. I don't even remember. फेस समथिंग क्या बोला था?
फेस मैच.
Yeah, फेस मैच. और उससे भी पहले 2-4 बनाए थे. सेम एज बिल गेट्स. माइक्रोसॉफ्ट से पहले 14 साल की उम्र से उसने 50 डिफरेंट आइडियाज बनाए थे. इलॉन मस्क तक, right? He's done a bunch of things to come up with some. Not all of his ventures work. So the one thing they all have in common is that एक शॉट में बनना ही चाहिए, ऐसा किसी का नहीं होता है. सबका होता है चल ट्राई करना है, डिटैच रख के, और बस अपना कुछ ना कुछ तो बन जाएगा. कुछ नहीं बनेगा तो कुछ नहीं बन जाएगा. And that's yeah.
So I also wanted to give some advice on the networking. Like you said that networking is a part of work. So how would you advise us to visit such networking events? How frequently, so that we can get the most of it.
Great. So now there's kind of like it's like a spectrum. Networking कहाँ तक करें? इतना सा करके थोड़ा कुछ मिल जाएगा, या इतना सा करके वहाँ तक पहुँच जाओगे. It's quite different. So for me, networking is a religion. I do it every day. I'm doing it right now. I'm hoping I get to know everyone here, at least by name. That for me is networking. So on that spectrum, you have to find your own place. But the only way you do it is to put yourself out of your comfort zone. Put yourself out, further out to figure out कि कहाँ पर आपके spectrum में आपके लिए अच्छा है. Practical speaking, अगर आप एक small business, small medium enterprise का आपने found किया है और आपके साथ एक co-founder है या एक दूसरा lead है, something like that, then in that case you need to use your resources. That co-founder or that lead that's there, आप तीनों में share करो. एक हफ्ता ये तेरा है, एक हफ्ता तेरा है, एक हफ्ता तेरा है. ताकि this way every week at least you're going to one event. I would say one week में एक event is bare minimum. उससे कम जाओगे तो you're not really going to be able to keep the momentum going. और reputation build overnight नहीं होती है. और reputation भूल जाते हैं लोग. अगर अपना नाम बनाओगे एक हफ्ता, एक महीने का बोला तो कौन है? So you have to keep that momentum going. And again, the other thing is, हर networking में successful नहीं होगा. मैं आपको लिख के दे सकती हूँ. For myself, I'll give you an example. I wanted to, before US, I grew up in New Zealand. From the age of 8 or so, I moved to New Zealand and I studied there. And when I first job किया, मुझे US में जो San Francisco, specifically Silicon Valley में Fintech companies में मुझे काम करना था. I don't know why, अभी तक पता नहीं क्यों, but I really wanted to. I don't know how to get there. तो मैंने इतने networkings किए, इतने like some random things किए. Finally मुझे मेरे यूनिवर्सिटी की एक करियर काउंसलर की बेस्ट फ्रेंड जो हाई स्कूल में उसको एक्सचेंज पे मिली थी, उसके थ्रू एक इंटरव्यू मिला. और उसके वो इंटरव्यू पे गई, 4 जन को बताया कि मेरे को इंटरव्यू, मुझे प्रिपरेशन के लिए हेल्प करो. तो उस 4 जन में से 2 ने बोला तू वहाँ जा रही तो मेरे पास भी आना. I was ओके, मुझे क्या फर्क पड़ता है. वहाँ गई तो और 2 जन मिले. And that's how I ended up getting 5 interviews, of which I got 3 offers and I ended up getting 1. And that wouldn't have happened if I had just एक करके चल गया. मेरे को करना एक इंटरव्यू मिला तो छोड़ लेना. No, I wanted to tell people and get their idea. And the best thing with networking, I'll tell you a secret. It's ask for help. लोगों को बहुत मजा आता है एडवांस देने को. बहुत मजा आता है. I'm enjoying myself right now. So you have to tap into that. You have to be like, okay, मुझे थोड़ा इसका बता. थोड़ा बहुत बकवास सुननी पड़ती है, उसमें कुछ ना कुछ तो इंटरेस्टिंग होता है. But the biggest thing is आपको trust build होएगा, आपका वो reputation build होएगा. You'll be coming across as a humble, humility person that is like, okay, this person is interesting. वो कभी जानता नहीं है. Maya Angelou, one of my favorite poets, had said कि I will forget what you do, I may forget what you say, but I'll never forget how you make me feel. And at the end of the day, networking ke liye, that's all it's about. You have to make somebody feel like they can trust you. You have to make someone feel like ये तो सही बंदा है, ये बंदी है.
Okay, thanks, Gia. It was really great. I've gained a lot of knowledge from you in just half an hour, just few minutes. It was really, really helpful for me. I open the session for the audience to ask any doubts or questions regarding the same to Gia. She would really help, as she's loving to give advice.
But if you guys have some opinions, yeah, you have something like I'm still learning about India का जो यहाँ पर का जो environment है, मुझे नहीं पता है इतना. थोड़ा बहुत learn करी तो मुझे भी सिखाओ. अगर कुछ पता है, कुछ nuggets of information है, feel free to share.
Hi, thanks for the talk. I would like to actually, which were the two opportunities that you took back in the day, and when did you realize that you almost or like you failed at it and pivot basically as you said?
Okay, so I'll tell you about one. It was that elevator pitch that I mentioned earlier. This was when I was in university, so I was around 18 or 19, I think. 18, I think. So we gave a pitch. Nutshell में idea था कि Facebook पे likes बहुत होते हैं. Facebook's and our instance on them. We wanted to monetize that. So we came up with an app that would essentially tie up with like major super, like what do you call it? These bade shopping mall type things. Like kind of like stores. Yeah, department stores. So it would tie up with like a 2 or 3 major department stores that have kind of the same items. तो एक brand जो carry करेंगे और उन stores के साथ item आएगा और समझो it is a dress, the same dress that 3 department stores are handling. जितने likes होंगे उतना उसका price drop होगा. और आप समझो likes 10,000 likes है right now और price 80 से $80 से $70 हो गया and you think नहीं इससे कम नहीं जाएगा मुझे चाहिए. So you walk into the mall and show that and then they give it to you for $70. वो हमारा आइडिया था और हमने क्रिएट किया और ऐप बनाया and all that kind of stuff. थोड़ी फंडिंग मिली यूनिवर्सिटी से to create it और हमें पता चला almost a month or 2 into creating कि यार already है और ये but backs में चलता है. जितने आप ads देखते होंगे Instagrams में आते हैं ads जितने likes होते हैं वो कंपनी से already tie ups है and that's how they get. But बीच में कोई है जो मलाई लेके चला जाता है. That's how it works. And ये students आके क्या create करे कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता.
Yeah, so you all were like 18, 19, so obviously it was difficult for you to.
But it was not even our name. It was university का नाम था. तो university भी बोल रहा था कि यार this is not gonna work because no like these department stores हैं सब बाहर में गए थे. Because they were like हमने already किया है क्या करोगे तुम लोग करके. So that didn't really work. But we were like okay doesn't matter. हम लोग को second round funding ही नहीं मिली. So that's kind of where it went. But I learned so much और मेरे को पता भी नहीं चलता कि इतना इस तरीके से चलता है. But yeah, does that kind of answer?
Yeah, that's great.
Hi Gia, thank you for the tour. 2 questions, one leading to the other. Be it bootstrapping or VC funding, you get that like the way you spoke about demographics and things like that. I want to understand, along with the idea, you have the product, you make the prototype, whatever XYZ. When you're out there in the market, whether it is an FMCG product or whether it's so basically a fast-moving good kind of a product or some prototype that you make or a digital idea or whatever it is. Sales, I'm sure, is important, right? So how is it that the VC funding or your capitalist looks at your idea of having that soul in the market? I mean, what are the few things which they think is very important? Do you think, leading to the second question, do you think backward calculation helps?
Okay. So let me see if I understand the question correctly.
Yes.
So you're saying कि जो आप metrics sales के जो भी है, how they know which one to believe or which one is the way you've done, which methodology you use, and also if you back calculate and show कि मैंने इतना sales किया, does that help?
And have the plan as a backward calculation because you've got an X amount of funding.
Because you don't know how to estimate at the start?
Yes.
Is that what you mean?
Yes.
Okay, so firstly, I refuse to believe that you can't estimate at the start. Because there is way too much research out there. If you have the right marketing person or company or consultants that you go with, it might be a tad expensive, but there's ways around that. There's some kind of, if you think it's worth it or whatever, you need to do that. So So the estimation is there. That's I mean, again, I don't want to generalize, but it is. It really is a solid estimate, at least to a small degree of variation. It is.
Okay.
And without that estimate, no VC is going to have any, right? Because I know that you can do it. So that's one. And that's where your bootstrapping will come in. If you use your own funds to do it, before, at least you present yourself in such a manner that is undeniable. So I think I mentioned it in the handouts that I've given you. Numbers are undeniable at the end of the day. No one can refute that. So that's one. Now, as for back calculation, that comes back to the point I mentioned earlier, is that you don't just give it and forget about it. और 2 महीने के बाद बताओ हाँ ऐसा चल रहा है. You keep updating them on your own manner. कि उनको पूछने की ज़रूरत ही नहीं पड़े. उनको खुद बताओगे ये मैंने आपको बोला था ना. Actually मैंने आपको इतना दिया था estimate कि 10,000 होगा. Actually 8,000 हुआ. तो हमने थोड़ा कम हुआ. इसलिए हमने ये efforts डाले हैं. इतना funding ज़्यादा use किया इस महीने ताकि हम लोग उसको अगले महीने का 10 का 12 करें. So that shows initiative. And that's how you can use your back calculations to do that. I would say very recommended. So you do the back calculations, not just for the VCs, but for yourself. So you have a reality check कि कब मुझे अपना इसमें से कट करके बाहर निकलना है, या when you should be thinking. Because again, numbers don't lie. They will tell you, data will tell you when it's time to move. Your gut instinct may take a while to tell you that. Your co-founders will take you a long while to tell you that. But the numbers will tell you easily कि this is not working. And the other thing, I don't know if you guys have heard of the term benchmarking. The benchmarking is very important. One of the best ways you can benchmark, which essentially means comparing your numbers to some other people's numbers, is tap into the public information that's out there. अगर एक company के shares share market में है ना, तो उनको if they're listed on it, तो उनकी जो financial statements है, सब कुछ है, उनको रखना ही है. They will get delisted if they don't have their financial information publicly available. और ये जो metrics है जो आप back calculation बोल रहे हो, अगर सब numbers आपके सामने है तो उनका calculate करो ना. So you can have an idea कि अगर if this company is doing this much, I should be doing at least this much. And you can take that and prove it to a VC saying like, look, we're doing slightly better. और this is the reason और ये इतना कर रहे हैं तो फिर it makes sense कि हमको इतना ही करना चाहिए. तो it's okay. And they can also use that as a little like, if you come back to them and tell them, oh, मैंने ये हो गया. But hey, ये तो इससे भी worse कर रहे हैं. So you can use that. So I would say there's kind of the back calculation benchmark is reality. Yeah, I feel so sad that people don't look at all this information that's out there evidently for you guys. Just go on it, have a look at it. Just other financial statements, I know boring है, I know लंबे हैं. तो उसमें nuggets of information इतनी है कि पूछो मत.
Thanks for sharing your experience and insights. So I just have one question here, like Nidhi mentioned about back calculation. Suppose I have got an estimation and eventually I realize while in my journey that there has been possibly an error ratio of let's say 30% or 40% error ratio after 3 or 6 months down the line. Now and then to rectify that, I make another plan. Now, when I go back to the VC, how much that plan stands versus the error ratio I have made in the estimation? How much does it stand in that process and what are the chances that the VC will back off? How do we evaluate that?
Okay, so that's quite a specific question which will be answered very differently to the different VCs.
Okay.
Right? किसके पास जाओगे? कौन सा आपका like it also depends on आपकी जो company है या आपका जो idea है. Again, like I said, आपका जो VC अगर आप में invest कर रहा है मतलब 20 और companies में भी कर रहा है same area में, same type of business में. तो अगर आप उनको कुछ भी बता के जाओगे तो they will know that okay, well this is great, but मेरे बाकी के investments better कर रहे हैं. So they will benchmark you against that,
Okay.
right? So that's one point. The second point to that is, let me focus on a slightly tangent to that. How you approach them with the bad news. So that I may be able to answer a little bit more generically. Now for that, again, it comes down to numbers. Show that numbers that, facts में ये है, like you said, error ratio ये था, मैंने plan किया, और उसके बाद मैंने the second plan बनाया, and all that you can show in your numbers कि कितना होएगा, and you can also show them at the end of the day. Go one step ahead, do another calculation for them to give them an idea of how much loss they may make. Or alternatively, in the second page can be, पर आपने अगर और किया, तो आपको इतना profit भी हो सकता है. you can kind of like you can dress the bad news as a good news, and the best way to do that is if you put yourself in their shoes. वो क्या देखना चाहेंगे, ये मत दिखाओ कि आपके पास क्या है और आपको आपके पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू मत दिखाओ उनको, आप उनको उनके पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू अच्छी तरीके से प्रिटी करके दिखाओ. So that way you can influence the way they think as well, right? That's one. And the second thing is have plan B, C, D, E as well. So have another couple plans of like okay ये नहीं चला तो फिर मैं इस तरीके से pivot करूँगा, उसका balance sheet बहुत better लगता है. या वो भी नहीं चला तो okay फिर हम लोग ये करेंगे, या फिर actually वो भी नहीं चला तो ये भी है. So you go with solutions, don't go with the problem. Go with solutions, go with multiple solutions and give them the aura that they're picking one for you. So they love that. That any investor loves that. कि उनको like it's like back to a colloquial example of like मम्मी पापा बस ये मत बोलो कि मम्मी मेरा प्रॉब्लम आ रही है, मम्मी मेरे को ये हुआ है, मैंने गलती की है, पर इस तरीके से सॉल्व कर सकती हूँ या इस तरीके से सॉल्व कर सकती हूँ, आप बताओ कौन सा करो, right? I mean we all do that. So you do the same kind of thing.
So you think playing around with the investor at the same time keeping the reality check is important.
Right, and you also have to always be in their shoes. This kind of funda applies to anything. Like networking में भी when you go, अगर आपको किसी को approach करना है, ये even if it's Elon Musk for God's sake, it doesn't really matter who you're approaching, but don't go with the approach of मुझे ये चाहिए और मुझे ये बोलना है. Go with the approach of उसको क्या सुनना होगा, उसको क्या like किस तरीके से क्या सुनना होगा जो मैं बोलूँगी या बोलूँगा, they'll be like okay, yeah चलो मैं सुनती हूँ या सुनता हूँ. So go with that mindset and it's like आपने already problem solve कर दिया है, right? तो अगर तभी issues आए अगर उनने दिया then it's their problem not yours. Please you can think of it that way.
Okay. Hi Gia, welcome to Mascots. I have a couple of things in my mind while you were just saying about it. First of all, is it project more important or the team? That is one thing which I feel like if I see industry-wise, like if I say service industry, so in that, क्योंकि हमारे से मारवाड़ी और सीएस के सब रहता है जो बिकता है जो दिखता है वही बिकता है. Like in terms of like how the place where you work, how do you speak, your personality. जब आप मीटिंग करते हो किसी से पहला वो आपको वही नोटिस करेगा कि आप दिख कैसे हो. Then they will see what you have to speak. Right. So that is one thing which I have in my mind. Second thing, how much risk would the VC or the founder would be ready to take for in generalizing all kind of projects which they have, like in terms of numeric ways, or if I say, will they take it as a market पे या वो लोग उसको लेंगे as in terms की?
Pause करो.
हाँ.
मैं पहला क्वेश्चन भूल गई.
Project.
तो पहले मुझे पूछिए project or team. Okay, let's focus on that. We'll go to the second one after. Short extension span. Sorry. So with the first question, project or team. Now that's a really good question, and that's why मैंने start में बोला था एक ही thing नहीं दो है, because I don't know how to answer that myself, because again it's VC dependent. Each VC will see things differently because they would have had a wealth of knowledge of seeing things fail, seeing things grow. उनमें से उनको पता चलेगा कि med tech में या reg tech में या co-working के area में like real estate में क्या चलता है, right? दोनों में से कौन सा they'll see. लेकिन 20 कंपनी से मैंने इन्वेस्ट किया, 2 चले, दोनों में टीम अच्छी थी, तो उनका मेंटालिटी की टीम ही बराबर है. पर अगर alternatively दूसरा हुआ तो they will think that. So that's why I say both should be focused on. Now of course resource constraints तो सबको है, right? You can't focus on both simultaneously and do a good job. That's kind of the reality of it. I would say personally, in my experience of what little I have, team अगर अच्छी है ना तो project बदल भी जाए, फिर भी होना कुछ तो हो जाता है. Because at the end of the day, when people invest in things, they invest in people. That's the humanity of it. People invest in people.
Yeah, because if you have only project, then the VC will take the project and kick you out.
That's the other thing, because that's what happens, right? That's what happens. That's why they go and take more shares, because they're like, ये idea अच्छा है, पर इससे नहीं होगा, चला.
I think in India people are more focused with the team, which is very true. Most of the Fortune 500s which invest here are looking for the best team.
Yeah, Silicon is the same. It's the same. I'll give you a slight example or a slight detour on this. One of my mentors is an individual. उसकी जो company है, वो जब VCs एक project लेके नए founders डालते हैं या नया team बदलते हैं या whatever, उसकी जो team है वो उनको coach करती है. वो because at the end of the day वो फाउंडर्स नहीं बदलेंगे तो लीड इंजीनियर बदलेंगे, लीड इंजीनियर नहीं बदलेंगे तो को फाउंडर बदलेंगे या सीईओ डाल देंगे अंदर या बीओडी डाल देंगे या समथिंग लाइक दैट. तो ऑफ कोर्स डायनामिक्स चेंज हो जाता है. तो how you make them gel. So that's what his company does. His company coaches them and all that kind of things. And one of the things he always says is that एक चीज है, सब लोग एक दूसरे को lie करते रहते हैं. They lie to each other all the time. And the one thing he tries to get out is उनको झूठ बोलना बंद करते हैं ना एक दूसरे को. अगर टीम में अगर आप एकदम like bare bones सब कुछ दिखा के बैठोगे तो ही आपका टीम बनेगा. Right? It shouldn't be that co-founder के पास और founder के पास कुछ information है और lead engineer के पास कुछ information है. That's dysfunctional. So, and a VC, and especially the sad thing is, ये जो होता है, जो mismatch या dynamics loss होता है ना, वो बाहर से ही दिखता है. तो especially for a VC, they can spot it from a mile away because they've seen so many of it. So I would argue I'm tilted on the side of the team. Now, in terms of the project, you can have a great team, you can have a solid person, but if they don't have the right idea or some kind of a good project, then they're better off being inside a company. And that's when acquisitions happen. When like, for instance, अभी Amazon ने Whole Foods करके जो big chain है उनको acquire किया, तो जो Whole Foods के जो founders थे, they became a part of Amazon, right? And that was, I mean, I don't want to generalize again, but that was probably because one of the decisions they made is that इनके लिए instead of इनको subsidiary बना के लिए हम लोग अंदर ही ले लेंगे because ये जो lead team है ये better work करती है अंदर, right? So that's what I would say कि project चाहिए, but project to founder match में या project to team match में टीम बराबर होगी तो project मिल ही जाएगा, because वो कीड़ा होता है लोगों में, जो entrepreneur होते हैं ना उनमें कीड़ा होता है कि कुछ ना कुछ तो मुझे करना ही है, and वो कीड़ा सब में नहीं होता है.
As you mentioned about Google also, they're so choosy about selecting their team.
Yeah, I mean, I have some experience in knowing that, and there is the interview rounds. They go for around 6 months or so, around I think 7 or 8 interviews or something like that, and it's also with many different people. और सबने हाँ बोला तो ही अंदर लेंगे, because एक बार अंदर गए तो फिर बंदा बराबर है, बंदी बराबर है, तो उसको कुछ ना कुछ तो कराएंगे, पर वो बंदा या बंदी बराबर ही होनी चाहिए. Yeah.
So yeah.
Sorry, second question. आपका
Second question है कि what would the risk a person should be willing to take if he start another business, and as a VC, if I look up to any project, what would the risk will I be able to take for that? Like if I have a project in my hand, and as you said that only 1% the selections have been done among the whole pool. So in that 1%, say there are 20 companies, all of them kind of have the same product or nearby same product. So how much importance will I give to every single one, or will I choose among those 20 that okay, this 5 are having a good team as well as a good project, and those 15 might be a riskier one for more other than those 5. So how do the VC evaluate the projects, and how do, as a founder of the project, how should I take up the risk factor? Like how much risk will I be willing to take? And because even I have to tell the VC that eventually if this thing doesn't work out, or if this is the whole scenario, this much risk we both will, my team and as well as you, being you the VC, we would be sharing between us or things like that.
Sure. So now, one disclaimer is that I am not a VC myself. I've always seen it from the side of we support VCs, or we help them make their decisions. So that's where your answer lies. The VCs and venture capital के जो companies है, they don't make solo decisions. They take input from a lot of things. So they take my team's input, which is the financial health checkup जो हम लोग करते हैं और revenue models बनाते हैं और basically बताते हैं कि इस time के बाद झक मार के इनके cash खत्म होने वाली है. Like that's one thing that they look at. So one key metric is how fast will you burn your cash. So when they judge the companies, आपके 20 companies, let's take the scenario 20 companies that they're choosing 2 companies to invest in. One thing they will judge all of them on is कितना runway है आपका, कितने time में आप cash खत्म करोगे. वो एक है और वो काफी easily पता कर सकता है, and it's something quite measurable and quite comparable, because that's the hardest thing with small emerging companies, hybrid companies, कि they are so unique that it's so hard to, it's like apples and watermelons. It's not even apple bananas. Right? It's so hard to kind of judge. So that's one thing, the cash burn thing. The second other thing that they would do would be diversify their risk. वो लोग अगर इस आइडिया में डालेंगे ना कि let's take medtech, medical technology या biotechnology के साइड पे जाएंगे, तो अगर ये कंपनी ये बना रही है, ये प्रोडक्ट बना रही है, तो दे माइट लुक फॉर अ कंपनी दैट थोड़ा सर्विस बना रही है, या कोई थोड़ा सॉफ्टवेयर स्टाइल जा रहा है एज अपोज टू हार्डवेयर, तो उनको थोड़ा डाइवर्सिफिकेशन चाहिए रिस्क में, एंड वो उनके अकाउंटेंट्स उसको बताएंगे. दैट्स व्हाट आई वुड टेल देम कि आपने अगर सब कॉन्सेंट्रेट यहाँ किया और अगर मार्केट क्रैश हुआ तो आपका सब पैसा जाएगा. सो अगर आपने थोड़ा डाइवर्सिफिकेशन किया तो अगर इधर पैसा जाएगा कम से कम इधर से तो ऊपर आएगा. So they try to look for opposites. तो अगर एक नीचे गया तो दूसरा ऊपर आएगा. So that's how they will also make decisions based on that. So diversifying the risk, that's another thing they will compare कि इसमें से स्पेक्ट्रम पे डालेंगे 20 कंपनीज को, कुछ कंपनीज इधर है, कुछ कंपनीज इधर है. ओके, इनमें से थोड़ा इधर लेंगे, थोड़ा इधर लेंगे. So that's the other thing. The last thing would be stages of growth. अगर कुछ कंपनीज they invest in a company that is just purely idea and a bomb team, then they may, or the second company that they invest in will be a proper prototype of a product with tomorrow ready to go to market, because again they're diversifying their risk. एक अगर कम से कम ready है तो उसका तो जल्दी पता चलेगा. So अगर losses create हुए तो आज होंगे, इसका losses 2 साल के बाद होंगे. So they want to space that out as well. So when they choose, they will look at companies like that. So you also want to be aware कि आपकी कंपनी कौन से स्टेज पे है. आपकी कंपनी सिर्फ आइडिया है या आपकी कंपनी एक्चुअली रेडी टू मार्केट इन अ कपल मंथ्स है. सो दैट्स द अदर थिंग. इफ यू हेल्प देम आउट बाय टेलिंग देम कि वी आर एट दिस एंड ऑफ द स्पेक्ट्रम, हम इधर तक है और हमें पता है कि आपके पास 4 और कंपनीज है जो इधर है. अगर आपने उनमें डाला तो आपका घाटा उधर होगा, पर आपका हम लोग आज ही बता देंगे, लाइक यू नो अगले 2-3 महीने में बता देंगे कि हमारा चलता है कि नहीं. सो इफ यू टेल देम दैट, इमेजिन देयर रिएक्शन. They're going to be like, oh shit, you know what I'm talking about. Okay. So yeah, so does that kind of answer your question?
Yeah.
Little bit. Anything else, guys?
Yeah. I'm sorry, it's a negative question, but I don't know that how it works in India. But what if what is the liability of the person? I mean, the person who has the idea, who has a team. What is his liability? For example, if it doesn't work out. Okay. So this question comes up because when I was watching Shark Tank, I saw the episodes and I saw people, the shark is investing in the product and the people. But I also wanted to read the negative, like who made the maximum losses. Okay. Because there was.
वो नहीं दिखाएंगे.
वो मैंने पढ़ा, मैंने रिसर्च किया उसके ऊपर किसने किया. तो the first जब सीजन था तो उधर लिखा था कि Damon he lost 500 million. The very first year of Shark Tank. So I was just asking you, my question to you is that if I am going to a VC, okay, and that particular year, that particular period of time, okay, my idea is superb, okay, but with time the idea also vanishes and a lot of people come in the market with the same idea. Okay. So if the VC is seeing that he has given you this kind of money, you have already bonded. And you don't have a, like you said that you always have to have a plan B, plan C. Nahi hai mere paas. Okay. Nothing is coming up. Okay. Then what is my personal liability? Then how will VC recover the amount?
That's a really hard question to
Window
answer.
dressing.
That's a really hard question to answer because again it depends on आपने क्या tie up किया है, आपने कितने shares दिए हैं और आपने paperwork में क्या sign किया है. So at the end of the day, contract जो आपके सामने होगा, वही आपको आंसर देगा कि आपको कितना
VC, I'm sorry, but a VC, in the contract, they must be looking at something, right? That if something doesn't work out, then how will I recover my money? So what do they, since you are the people who are guiding the VC, so what do you suggest in that?
The one thing is, VCs का, because again, they invest in 20 companies with the expectation that 1 or 2 will go up, right? So they do have a high appetite for risk and a high appetite for loss. वो numbers है उनके पास, उनकी expectation है. इस वजह से तो Series A, Series B, seed funding ऐसे करके levels पे आपको ऐसे ही नहीं 10 मिलियन देंगे. आपको कल 700,000 मिलेगा. उसके बाद आप मुझे 1 महीने के बाद या जब भी आपका वो product उस type पे उस level पे होगा, तब आपको next मिलेगा. ऐसे करके करते हैं. Now like Uber for instance, Uber is loss making like worldwide. Basically, it's it's been around for God knows how long.
$50 billion
Right.
loss making.
Yeah, it's making losses today and it's been
Like Tesla.
around for so long और आज तक इतना पैसा जाता है उसमें. I don't remember exactly कहाँ पढ़ा था, but I think lastly एक circular मैंने देखा था कि कैलिफोर्निया में the most investment is in Uber, in VC. And it talks around $1 to $1.5 billion.
And I
जो
heard that
VC का पैसा गया है.
and in India, every day there's some funding coming in for Uber.
Exactly. So that comes through from California only because it goes to the headquarters and then they trickle it down to wherever they want to go. So, but it's so ingrained. I mean, अगर अभी आप लोग के पास Ola है, but Ola के handle कर पाएगा अगर Uber चला गया तो, you know, there's so much. They don't have the capacity to grow, right? They will be able to because there's also such a thing as too much growth or too much capacity but not enough. People बोर हो जाएंगे कुछ ना कुछ और आएगा. Yeah, it will get fragmented. There'll be 50 other things that will come up. छोटे-छोटे आ जाएंगे. You know, everybody will have like an Uber or an Ola type of company that will come up, like 4 cars के साथ, right? So government doesn't want that either because it's also regulation के हिसाब से नहीं होगा and all that kind of stuff. It will be absolute chaos. So that's the reason why with Uber, money keeps getting injected. That's just an example of like how far they will go because that will depend on how ingrained you are in the market. कि आपके बगैर market चलेगा कि नहीं. और दूसरा अगर ऊबर चला गया और अगर उन्होंने बोल दिया कि बस हम लोग बैंकरप्ट जा रहे हैं खत्म कर कितने लोगों का पैसा जाएगा इतना पैसा डाल के बस कम से कम होप तो मिल रहा है राइट होप पे कम से कम चल तो रही है गाड़ी राइट so the two kind of like facets to that is one is you get funding in smaller levels so that way आपका stop loss जो है वो early decide करते हैं और आपको वो भी 700,000 कल ही मिलेगा आपको 50,000 ऐसे करके 20,000, 100,000, okay आपको ये चाहिए तो we'll give you that or they will also give you an accountant that will sit there and give like responses back going okay stop right so that is it's very structured they're not just putting money and going okay बेटा बताना मुझे क्या किया उसका it doesn't work like that.
One more question to you
Sure.
is that see and I've been to US so I don't know that how things work out over there but in India what I feel is that coming back to networking is that we don't have like kind of channels to network first thing and second
You have
thing
LinkedIn don't you?
I'm LinkedIn yeah.
No I'm saying you have LinkedIn don't you?
I
know
have
you-
LinkedIn.
LinkedIn पे बहुत है so like no offense but that's an excuse कि नहीं है मेरे पास channels है पर ढूंढना पड़ेगा
No, right okay and now second thing my second question to you is that do you think that forming consortiums is better than VC for Indian
I'm not familiar if that might be like a jargon here what do you mean?
A consortium is like people from the same industry coming to a table and they're working under one banner and sharing the expertise wherein the cost is shared with every member of the consortium.
I see what you mean.
And you whatever you sell, it will be in the one banner.
I
So,
see.
for
So
example,
like conglomerate.
I'm a consolidator and you are not a consolidator. So if we are both in a consortium, so what rate I can offer you, no one can. And you will never get it from anyone else in the market. So you come to me, you share my experience. You must be like in tourism, you must be a ticketing agent who will be very familiar with the GDA. So that is not my expertise, that is what you bring to the table. So in that case, if we both collide, okay. So that banner is much strong than, I mean, sharing money is a separate thing, but sharing expertise will make the company go eventually. What do
I
you
see
think?
what you mean. I think this is a little too specific to India for me.
Yes,
So I
it's
wouldn't
too
be able
specific
to,
to
yeah,
India.
I wouldn't be able to answer that. I mean, just learned about the concept 5 seconds ago. So I'm sure that like that type of concept exists, but the thing is it's heavily regulated because it's very easily to go from a consortium to a collusion, and then you become a monopoly, and then there's nothing there. You know, for that it erodes the competitive forces in the market, and all of those kind of things come into factor. Because having small fragmentation, having all of these people having different kind of like things, it gives economy like a kind of momentum, right? So like a good running economy wants that, needs that, and regulations are based around that. And the other thing, like I have seen, like I've heard of things like these, but I'm just not familiar enough to kind of say like would that work or not work or how would it go.
I think consortiums are mainly to value risks to as much as zero. That's why consortiums work.
I think
I'll Google it and learn about it.
how much of a time we invest, we can go on and on this topic, but we need to wrap up due to everybody's time constraints. So thanks, Gia, for removing your time and coming to this first event of Mascots. We're really, really thankful to you. And thanks, guys, for being here. I wanted to tell you all that if you all in future want to, conduct any event, or if you all have any ideas, or you all want any suggestions, you can please give your inputs as a community member of Mascots. Please do share your knowledge.